They say family is everything. But nobody talks about what happens when everything slowly falls apart. From the outside, the Harris family looked fine. Decent house, weekend dinners, birthday photos with fake smiles and perfect captions. But behind closed doors? Yeah, it was a whole different story. This isn't about one big fight. This is about little things, unsaid words, missed dinners, silent resentment, the kind of stuff that builds up until one day someone breaks, and when that happens, there's no rewind button. This is a story about love, pressure, depression, and the messy truth of family life. The kind nobody posts online. It started with silence, not the peaceful kind. The awkward, heavy silence that sits in the room like it owns the place. Mark Harris noticed it first. Every evening, he'd come home exhausted, drop his keys on the counter, and wait for someone to ask, "How was your day?" No one did. His wife Emily was usually glued to her laptop, pretending to work but really just zoning out. Their teenage daughter Lily barely looked up from her phone. And their son Jake had mastered the art of disappearing into his room the second Mark walked in. Dinner used to mean something in that house. Now it felt like a chore everyone wanted to skip. Mark tried to brush it off. Everyone's busy. That's life, he told himself. But deep down it stung. He was working overtime, busting his ass, trying to keep everything afloat. Bills, mortgage, college savings, all that pressure sat on his shoulders and nobody seemed to notice. One night he finally said it. "So, are we ever going to talk to each other again, or is this just how it is now?" Emily didn't even look up. "Can we not do this right now, Mark? I'm tired." That line hit harder than she probably meant it to. Tired? Funny how everyone was tired, but somehow Mark was the only one still trying. Lily rolled her eyes. Jake sighed like his dad was the problem. Mark laughed under his breath. Not because it was funny, because if he didn't laugh, he might actually lose it. "Yeah," he said quietly. "My bad." And just like that, the moment was gone. Later that night, Mark lay awake staring at the ceiling. Emily was turned away from him, scrolling through her phone in the dark. He wanted to say something. Anything. But what do you say when you feel like a stranger in your own home? Across the hall, Lily was crying silently into her pillow. Feeling unseen and misunderstood, Jake had his headphones on, drowning out a world he didn't feel safe in anymore. 4 people, 1 house, miles apart. Nobody realized it yet, but this was the beginning, not of a fight, but of a slow emotional collapse that would change their family forever. Emily Harris wasn't lazy. She wasn't careless. And she definitely wasn't just being dramatic. She was drowning quietly. Every morning she woke up with this weird heaviness in her chest, like something was sitting on her lungs. Not pain, just pressure, the kind that makes getting out of bed feel like climbing a mountain for no damn reason. She used to love mornings. Coffee, sunlight, music playing while she got the kids ready. Now, she stared at the ceiling, counting reasons to move and somehow finding none. Mark thought she was distant. Lily thought she didn't care anymore. Jake thought she was always annoyed. But the truth was uglier. Emily felt invisible. Not in a nobody listens to me way. More like I don't even recognize myself anymore. She had given up her career when the kids were younger. Just for a few years, she told herself back then. Years turned into a decade. Now every time someone asked, "So what do you do?" she smiled and said, "Oh, I'm just a mom." Just that word messed with her head more than she liked to admit. She loved her kids. She loved Mark, or at least she loved the version of him she remembered. But somewhere along the way, she stopped feeling like a person and started feeling like a background character in her own life. That night when Mark snapped about dinner, it wasn't anger she felt. It was guilt, because she knew she'd been checked out. She knew she avoided conversations. She knew she pretended to be busy so she wouldn't have to explain how broken she felt inside. After everyone went to bed, Emily sat alone on the couch, laptop open but untouched. Her mind spiraled. Why am I like this? Why can't I just be normal? What's wrong with me? She scrolled through social media. Mistake number 1. Perfect families. Smiling couples. Moms doing it all. Looking flawless while doing it. Emily laughed softly, shaking her head. "Yeah, sure," she whispered. Her phone buzzed. A message from her sister. "You okay? Haven't heard from you in a while." Emily stared at the screen for a long time. She typed, "I'm fine," then deleted it. Typed again. "Just tired." Sent, because explaining the truth felt impossible. How do you tell someone that you feel empty even though your life looks full? She closed the laptop and leaned back, tears sliding down her cheeks without warning. Not loud sobs, just quiet tears and the kind nobody notices. In the bedroom, Mark slept facing the other wall, miles away emotionally. Emily watched his back and felt a sharp ache. She missed him. She missed them. But depression doesn't care about love. It doesn't care about logic. It just whispers lies until you believe you're alone, even when you're not. And tomorrow morning, she'd wake up, put on a brave face, and do it all over again, because that's what everyone expected. Nobody knew it yet. But Emily was already slipping, and when she finally fell, the whole family would feel it. Mark Harris wasn't heartless. He just didn't know how to fall apart. Growing up, he learned one rule early. Men don't complain, men provide. So that's what he did. He worked late, took extra shifts, said yes when his body was screaming no, because quitting wasn't an option, not with a family depending on him. At the office, Mark was the reliable guy, the one who stayed calm when everything went to hell, the one who picked up the slack without making a fuss. But calm has a cost. Every ignored email from Emily, every eye roll from Lily, every closed door from Jake. It stacked up, and nobody noticed how tired his eyes looked lately. That morning, his boss pulled him aside. "Hey man," he said casually, "we might need you to take on a bit more responsibility." Mark smiled automatically. "Yeah, sure. I got it." Inside, something cracked. On his drive home that night, traffic was brutal. His phone buzzed and a bank notification. Low balance warning. Mark exhaled sharply, gripping the steering wheel. "Seriously?" he muttered. He thought about the bills waiting at home. Jake's school fees, Lily's phone upgrade she kept asking for, the car making that weird noise again, and suddenly the pressure felt unbearable. When he walked into the house, no one greeted him. No "Hi, Dad." No "You're home." Just noise from the TV and Lily laughing at something on her phone. That laugh, the carefree kind, and set him off. "Must be nice," he said under his breath. Emily looked up. "What?" "Nothing," Mark snapped. "Just nothing." Dinner was quiet. Too quiet. Halfway through, Mark dropped his fork. "I'm killing myself for this family," he said, voice shaking, "and it feels like I don't even exist here." Silence. Lily froze. Jake stared at his plate. Emily's face went pale. "Mark, please," Emily said softly. "Not like this." "That did it." "Not like this?" He laughed bitterly. "Then how, Emily, when? Because no one seems to give a damn unless I lose my temper." The words came out harsher than he meant. He saw it immediately, fear in Lily's eyes, anger in Jake's jaw. Regret hit him hard. He pushed his chair back, standing up abruptly. "Forget it," he said. "I'm done talking." Mark grabbed his jacket and walked out. Cold air slapped his face as he stepped outside. His hands were shaking. He leaned against the car, breathing heavy, trying not to break down in the driveway like some cliché. For the first time in years, Mark wondered something that scared him. What if I stop trying? What if I just give up? Inside the house, Emily sank into her chair, fighting tears. Lily ran to her room, heart racing. Jake clenched his fists, anger boiling over. One argument, one moment, and the family line cracked even wider. They all felt it, that something had shifted. Because when the strongest person in the room starts breaking, everything else follows. Lily Harris learned early how to pretend she was okay. At school, she smiled, laughed at the right jokes, posted cute selfies with perfect lighting and confident captions. Online, she looked unbothered. IRL, she was barely holding it together. After her dad stormed out, Lily locked her bedroom door and slid down against it, heart pounding. She hated fights, especially when they were about her, even when nobody said it out loud. If I didn't exist, they wouldn't argue this much, the thought crept in. She grabbed her phone, scrolling mindlessly. Notifications popped up, a comment under her latest photo. "You look different lately." Not in a good way. Another DM. "Why are you acting all fake now?" Her stomach dropped. People thought she was confident, popular, untouchable. Truth was, she'd been feeling invisible at home and judged everywhere else. Lily compared herself to everyone. Her body, her face, her life. No matter what she did, it never felt enough. Her grades were slipping. Teachers noticed, her parents didn't. Not because they didn't care, but because they were too busy surviving their own mess. Lily opened her notes app, the place where she kept her real thoughts. I'm tired of being the strong one. I'm tired of pretending I'm fine. I don't even know who I am anymore. Her hands trembled. She remembered last month when she tried to tell her mom she was struggling. Emily had looked exhausted, distracted. Can we talk later, sweetheart? I just can't right now. Later never came. A tear slipped down Lily's cheek. She felt stupid for crying over small things. Everyone always said she had it easy. But pain doesn't care about age. She lay on her bed, staring at the ceiling, thoughts spiraling. What if nobody would notice if I disappeared? The thought scared her, but also felt weirdly comforting. Downstairs, Jake heard her door slam earlier. He knew that sound. He stood outside her room for a second, hand hovering over the door. Then he walked away, because in that house everyone had learned the same bad habit, suffering in silence. Lily wiped her face, unlocked her phone again, and typed a message she almost sent to her best friend. Do you ever feel like you're just too much for everyone? She stared at it, then deleted it. Because being vulnerable felt riskier than being lonely, outside Mark sat in his car staring into nothing. Emily lay awake, replaying the argument on loop. And Lily? She curled into herself, feeling smaller than ever. Nobody knew her secret yet, but if things didn't change soon, that secret might become a scream. Jake Harris didn't talk much. People thought he was chill, quiet, low maintenance. Truth? He was angry as hell. Not the loud kind. The bottled up kind that sits in your chest and burns slow. That night after Lily slammed her door, Jake stayed in the hallway longer than he meant to. He wanted to knock, say something smart. Anything. But words felt useless in that house. So he went back to his room and cranked his headphones up, bass pounding like it could drown everything else out. Jake hated fights, hated weakness even more. He saw his dad losing it, pretending everything was fine when it clearly wasn't. Saw his mom fading into herself, barely present. Saw Lily spiraling, glued to a screen that kept hurting her, and nobody asked how he was doing. At school, Jake was labeled the problem kid. Late assignments, short temper, zero patience for fake authority. Teachers warned him. Counselors talked at him. Nobody listened. What they didn't know was how tired he was of feeling powerless. When you're the youngest, you learn fast. Your feelings come last. That afternoon, he got into a fight. Nothing major, just words that escalated too fast. Chill out, dude, the other kid laughed. Why you always so mad? Jake didn't answer. Because how do you explain that your house feels like it's falling apart and you don't know how to stop it? He came home earlier than usual expecting noise. Instead, the house felt empty. His dad's car was gone. His mom's door was closed. Lily's room was silent. Jake dropped his backpack and stared around the living room. Family photos everywhere, smiling faces, fake moments frozen in time. He scoffed. Yeah, right, he muttered. For a second, something cracked in him. Not anger this time, but fear. What if this is it? What if this is just how families end? He kicked the couch lightly, frustrated at himself for even caring. Later, when Mark finally came home, Jake heard the door close. He stayed in his room, not because he didn't want to talk, but because he didn't trust himself to. Anger was easier than sadness. Silence felt safer than honesty. Jake lay back on his bed, staring at the ceiling, jaw clenched. He promised himself one thing. I'll never be weak like this. I'll never need anyone. But deep down, he already knew the truth. Anger doesn't protect you. It just isolates you faster. And if nobody steps in soon, Jake's anger was going to explode in ways none of them were ready for. It was Tuesday. Just another dull, heavy Tuesday. Emily was scrolling through her phone, trying to ignore the gnawing feeling in her chest. Mark had been gone for an extra hour, handling work stuff. Lily had disappeared into her phone again. Jake? Well, Jake was just being Jake. Silent, brooding, dangerous in his quiet way. Then the phone rang. Emily glanced at it. Unknown number. Probably a wrong number, she muttered. But something made her answer. Hello? The voice on the other end was shaky. You Harris family? Emily froze. Her heart dropped. This is Detective Reynolds. There's been an incident at the school involving your son, Jake. Time stopped. Jake, upstairs, was trying to ignore the storm. Mark was still out, clueless. And Emily. Emily felt like her entire world just shattered. Incident? She whispered. Yes, ma'am. It's serious. We need you to come down immediately. Her hand went cold. The phone slipped slightly from her grasp. She barely remembered telling Mark. She barely remembered driving to the school, letting panic overtake rational thought. By the time they arrived, Jake was sitting in the principal's office, hands folded, silent. His expression said everything his words never could. I've had enough. Mark burst in, face pale, adrenaline pumping. Emily followed, trembling. Jake, what happened? Mark demanded. The principal sighed. Mr. Harris, your son got into a fight. Not a small one. He was defending himself, and it escalated quickly. We called the authorities just to make sure everyone's safe. Jake looked at them, eyes blazing, voice low. Everyone's fine, he said. But I'm done pretending this house is okay. The words hit like a punch. Mark felt rage, fear, guilt, all at once. Emily wanted to cry and scream simultaneously. Lily peeked from the hallway, realizing finally how far things had gone. For the first time in months, the air in the room was raw with truth. No hiding, no pretending, no silence. Detective Reynolds gave them a moment and quietly left. The room felt empty and suffocating at the same time. Jake didn't speak again. He just stared at them. The family that was supposed to be safe. The family that somehow wasn't. And in that moment, Mark realized something he had refused to admit. If we don't fix this now, we might lose everything. Emily wrapped an arm around Lily. Mark slowly closed the distance to Jake. But the tension? It wasn't going anywhere. Not yet, because truths like this, they take time to unravel, and a family like theirs had a long way to go. The drive home from the school felt endless. Mark gripped the steering wheel so tight his knuckles turned white. Emily sat silently beside him, staring out the window, mind spinning. Lily and Jake rode in the back, tension thick enough to choke. The house looked the same. Same walls, same photos, same furniture. But it felt different. Heavier. Once inside, Mark shut the door and turned to face them all. We need to talk, he said. Not a suggestion. Not a warning. A command. Everyone froze. Emily swallowed hard. Yeah, we do, she whispered. Jake was the first to speak, voice shaking. I'm tired of pretending, okay? Tired of pretending everything's fine. I can't stand it anymore. Lily followed, voice trembling. Me too, I've been trying to keep it together, but I can't. No one listens. No one sees me. Emily's chest tightened. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she admitted softly, I've been depressed. I didn't mean to ignore you, I just didn't know how to deal with my own stuff. Mark felt like someone punched him in the gut. All the anger, frustration, fear, it poured out in one shaky breath. I've been working myself to death trying to keep this family afloat, and somehow, I've been failing all of you. Silence hit the room, heavy and suffocating. And then finally, something shifted. Jake slumped back, exhaustion breaking through the anger. I just want us to be okay, he muttered. Lily nodded, tears streaming down her face. I want us to be a family again, not just people living in the same house. Emily stepped closer to Mark. I want that too. Mark closed his eyes, exhaling slowly, letting the weight of months, years, and silent suffering wash off him, and at least a little. He finally said quietly, then we fix this together, no more pretending. It wasn't magic. It wasn't perfect. But it was a start. 4 people, standing in a living room that had seen months of quiet suffering. For the first time in a long time, they were talking. Really talking. Not about bills, not about chores, not about school projects. About them. The family they were meant to be. And while the road ahead was still long, scary and uncertain, one thing was clear. For the first time in a while, hope had returned. The next morning, the Harris house felt strange. Not peaceful. Not perfect. Just different. A crack had formed in the walls of silence, and sunlight filtered in like a quiet promise. Emily woke up first, staring at the ceiling. No phone scrolling. No pretending. Just a deep inhale, thinking, today I try. Downstairs, Mark brewed coffee, the kind they used to drink together on weekends. When life felt simpler, he didn't say much, just handed a mug to Emily when she walked in. Morning, he muttered. She nodded, tears lingering, but a small smile forming. A beginning. Lily shuffled into the kitchen, hair messy, eyes red from crying the night before. She mumbled a soft, "Hi, Mom," to Emily, and Emily pulled her into a hug. For a moment, no judgment, no silent distance, just warmth. Jake was last. He hovered near the doorway, arms crossed. But even he couldn't resist the quiet gesture Emily made. Patting the seat beside her, he sat down, silence hanging heavy but not threatening. Not this time. They ate breakfast together, awkwardly at first. No screens. No rushing. Just plates clinking and the soft murmur of voices testing the waters. Later, Mark suggested something he had been avoiding for months. Maybe we talk to someone. Like a counselor. A family therapist. Emily's eyes widened, hope flickering. Lily and Jake exchanged glances, part skeptical, part relieved. Finally, someone was admitting they couldn't do it alone. Yeah, Emily said softly. I think we should. We need help. I need help. Mark nodded, voice thick. Me too. It wasn't an instant fix. Therapy sessions were awkward. Conversations sometimes led to arguments. Old wounds were poked and reopened. But slowly, things began to shift. Jake started opening up, by sometimes just one word at a time. Lily's walls came down a little, revealing a scared, vulnerable teen desperate for connection. Emily learned to ask for support instead of retreating. Mark started listening instead of just fixing. For the first time in years, the house wasn't filled with silent suffering. It was filled with attempts. Small, messy, imperfect attempts. But attempts nonetheless. That night, they sat together on the couch. No phones, no distractions. Just 4 people, figuring out how to be a family again. And while the shadows of the past still lingered, there was a spark. A spark that whispered, we can rebuild. We can survive this. We can be okay. It wasn't a fairy tale. It wasn't perfect. But it was real. And in a house that had almost fallen apart, sometimes real is enough. It happened one ordinary Saturday. The kind of Saturday that usually passed with screens, silence, and separate routines. But this Saturday, something was different. Mark had the idea. A small one really, but radical for them. Let's do something together. Just the 4 of us. Emily raised an eyebrow. Lily groaned. Jake muttered, do we have to? But Mark insisted. Trust me, just one afternoon. No phones, no excuses. They ended up at a nearby park. Nothing fancy. Just grass, swings, and the kind of open space that invites honesty. At first, it was awkward. Emily tried to keep it light. Mark cracked a dad joke that flopped. Lily rolled her eyes. Jake tried to look unimpressed, but Mark caught the twitch of a smile. Then something shifted. They started talking. Not about bills. Not about chores. Not about school grades. But about dreams, fears, and things they'd never said aloud. Lily admitted she felt invisible. Jake admitted he was angry because he felt powerless. Emily confessed she had been depressed for months. And Mark admitted he felt like he was failing them all. No one interrupted. No one judged. For the first time in months, they listened. Really listened. After a while, Jake suggested a silly idea. Let's have a race to the swings. Loser has to buy ice cream. Lily laughed. Emily smiled. Mark shook his head but couldn't stop himself from laughing too. They ran. They fell. They laughed until their sides hurt. And in that laughter, the weight of the past weeks melted a little. It was unexpected. Simple. Perfect in its imperfection. As they walked home, ice cream in hand, Emily nudged Mark. I think "We're gonna be okay," she said. He smiled. "Yeah, maybe we actually are." Jake nudged Lily. "See, not all bad," he teased. And Lily grinned. A real grin. Not the one for social media. The kind that reached her eyes and made everyone else feel lighter. Sometimes it's the little moments, the unexpected reconnections, and that start the healing. After that small moment in the park, the Harris family knew the real work was just beginning. Healing wasn't going to happen magically. That evening, Emily took a deep breath and said, "We need to talk, really talk, about everything and our feelings, our fears, everything we've been hiding." Mark nodded. "Yeah, no excuses this time. No work, no screens, no pretending." They sat in the living room, the four of them. The air was heavy but not suffocating. This time they were ready. Emily went first. "I've been depressed for months. I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to burden anyone, but hiding it made everything worse." Lily wiped her eyes and admitted, "I've been pretending I'm fine online and at school, but I feel invisible at home. And sometimes I just want someone to notice me before it's too late." Jake's voice was quieter than usual but sharp with honesty. "I've been angry because I feel powerless. I hate fighting, but when I don't fight, nothing changes. I need to feel like I matter." Mark swallowed hard. He looked at his family, finally letting his guard down. "I've been trying to hold everything together. Work bills, expectations, and I forgot the most important thing, listening to you. I'm sorry. I've been failing all of us in my own way." Silence fell for a moment. Heavy but not bad. Then Emily reached for Mark's hand. Lily hugged Jake. Jake nodded, letting the anger slip just a little. They talked for hours. Arguments came up. Tears fell. Laughter broke through tension. Old wounds were poked, yes, but they were also acknowledged, not ignored. By the end of the night, something had shifted. Not all problems were solved. Not every fear vanished. But a foundation was laid. A foundation built on honesty, understanding, and a willingness to heal together. Mark looked at his family and thought, "This is real. This is imperfect. But maybe this is enough." Because sometimes the hardest conversations are the ones that save everything. The next morning, the house felt lighter. Not magically fixed. Not perfect. Just different. Mark made pancakes, burnt edges and all. But for the first time in months, he laughed when Lily complained. Jake offered to help, grumbling, but actually smiled when he flipped one too high and it landed on the counter. Emily watched them quietly, feeling a warmth she hadn't felt in years. Small moments, she realized, were starting to stack up. They didn't solve everything. Bills were still due. Work stress hadn't disappeared. But for the first time, they were noticing each other. At lunch, Lily made a joke that made everyone laugh. Mark ruffled her hair playfully. Jake rolled his eyes, but Emily caught the small grin he tried to hide. Even the silence in the house felt different. It wasn't heavy anymore. It was comfortable. A silence where you could breathe and still feel connected. Later, Mark suggested a short walk. "I know it's not much," he said, "but let's do this together." They walked through the neighborhood, shoulder to shoulder. No phones, no music. Just conversations and small ones. About school, about work, about things that mattered and things that didn't. And with every step, every shared laugh, every quiet moment of connection, the cracks in their family grew smaller. Emily realized she didn't have to pretend to be strong all the time. Mark realized he didn't have to carry everything alone. Lily realized someone was listening. Jake realized that being seen didn't make him weak. Sometimes healing doesn't come from a single big event. It comes from tiny moments of connection, trust, and love. And slowly their family, messy, imperfect, real, began to feel whole again. Life didn't suddenly get easier for the Harris family. Old problems didn't vanish overnight. Bills still piled up. Work deadlines loomed. School stress lingered. But what changed was how they faced it. Together. One evening, Emily came home from a therapy session, visibly exhausted but determined. She sat at the kitchen table, tracing her coffee cup with her finger. Mark joined her, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "I was thinking," Emily said quietly, "maybe some of this, our struggles, comes from the stuff we never dealt with before. From my parents, from your past. We're carrying old wounds we never even talked about." Mark nodded. He'd always been haunted by his father's harsh words growing up, by the expectation that men don't cry, men don't complain. And now he realized how much that pressure had silently shaped his anger, his silence, his stress, Lily and Jake overheard the conversation from the living room. They were learning a new lesson, that family patterns run deep, and recognizing them is the first step to breaking the cycle. That night, they all sat down again, and this time, not just to vent about the present, but to acknowledge their past. Emily spoke about feeling overlooked as a child. Mark opened up about his insecurities and fears. Lily admitted how social pressures had amplified her loneliness. Jake shared how he sometimes felt trapped by expectations he didn't ask for. It wasn't easy. Tears fell. Voices cracked. But every admission brought a small sense of relief, like dropping a heavy stone that had been sitting in their chests for years. Later, Mark whispered to Emily, "We're learning to carry these things differently now. Not alone, together." Emily smiled softly, exhausted but hopeful. For the first time, she believed that the past didn't have to define the future. And that night, the Harris house, once filled with silent suffering, anger and distance, felt a little warmer, a little safer, a little more like a home. Because sometimes confronting your past is the only way to truly heal the present. The weeks after that night were different. Not perfect, not drama-free, but small victories began stacking up one by one. Mark started making it a point to really listen. Not just nod and smile, but pause, ask, and understand. When Lily ranted about school drama, he didn't dismiss her. He didn't offer solutions first. He just listened. Emily, too, began trusting herself to ask for help. She started opening up about her feelings instead of bottling them up. When she felt anxious or depressed, she told Mark, and he was there. Not to fix her, but to support her. Jake surprised everyone. He began sharing his frustrations instead of letting them explode silently. A joke here, a candid comment there, little cracks in the walls he had built around himself. And Lily began showing her real self, not just the confident girl online. She asked for help, shared her insecurities, and let her parents and brother in. It was awkward, sometimes messy, but it was real. One evening, they all sat together on the couch watching a silly movie. Emily dozed off for a moment. Mark laughed at Lily's commentary. Jake laughed too, a real laugh. Not the sarcastic one he usually used to hide anger. And in that quiet, imperfect moment, they realized something. Trust isn't rebuilt overnight. It's small moments stacked together, shared smiles, honest conversations, random acts of kindness. By the end of that week, the family had started a new ritual. Every night before bed, each of them shared one thing they appreciated about someone else. Lily said, "Thanks, Mom, for listening today." Jake said, "Dad, for not yelling when I messed up." Emily said, "Lily, for being honest about how you feel." Mark said, "And Jake, for being patient with all of us." It was small. It was awkward. It was perfect. Because for the Harris family, trust and love were being rebuilt, piece by piece, day by day. It was a Monday like any other, but the Harris family could feel it coming. Life had a way of testing the small victories they had just begun to celebrate. Mark's boss called him into an emergency meeting. A major project had gone sideways. Emily's part-time freelance work hit a dead end. Lily had a big exam the next day she wasn't ready for. Jake got into a minor fight at school, this time with a teacher, and the principal called. The old tension threatened to creep back in. At dinner, everyone sat down. The air was heavy. Emily tried to keep it light. Mark forced a smile. Lily scrolled on her phone, pretending not to care. Jake barely touched his food. And then Mark took a deep breath. "Look," he said, trying to keep calm, "we've been through a lot. And yeah, things are piling up. But we have to remember we're stronger than this, together." Emily nodded. "But it's hard, Mark, it really is." Lily finally put her phone down. "Yeah, sometimes it feels like everything's on top of us at once. I don't know how to keep it all together." Jake clenched his fist but spoke softly, surprising everyone. "I'm mad, but we've been doing better. We can get through this. We just have to stick together, not explode." Mark felt a lump in his throat. The four of them, broken, messy, stressed, and were trying. Really trying. Later that night, they decided to face the challenges as a team. Mark would delegate some work. Emily would reach out to support networks. Lily created a study plan. Jake promised to channel his anger differently. They weren't perfect. Mistakes were made. Arguments flared. But each flare-up was shorter, more manageable, because they knew they were not alone. By the end of the week, even small wins felt monumental. Mark got positive feedback at work. Emily landed a small freelance client. Lily aced her exam. Jake received recognition from a teacher for improving behavior. They celebrated quietly, not with big gestures, but with acknowledgement and presence. The test was hard. The pressures didn't go away. But the Harris family had learned the most important lesson. When you fight together, even life's heaviest storms can feel a little lighter. Months had passed since that fateful Tuesday, the one that forced them to confront everything. And the Harris family had changed. It wasn't overnight. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. Mark had learned that providing wasn't enough. He had to listen, empathize, and show presence. Emily had learned that asking for help wasn't weakness, it was strength. Lily had found her voice, realizing she mattered even when life felt overwhelming. And Jake had begun to trust that he could express anger without losing himself, or those he loved. One evening, the four of them sat in the living room together. No distractions, no screens, just the quiet hum of their home, alive, warm, and safe. Lily spoke first, a small smile on her face. "I know we're not perfect, but I feel like we actually see each other now." Jake nodded. "Yeah, and even when stuff hits the fan, we'll handle it together." Emily reached over, squeezing Mark's hand. "I feel like we're finally a family again. The real kind. Messy, sure, but ours." Mark smiled, eyes a little misty. "And that's exactly what I want, messy, imperfect, real. But together." They laughed softly. They joked. They shared stories about their day. No pretending, no hidden pain. For the first time in a long time, their home felt like home again. Outside, the sun set, painting the sky in shades of orange and gold. Inside, a family, our broken, scarred, tested, sat together. And though life would throw challenges their way again, one thing was certain. They had learned to face them side by side. A new beginning. Not flawless, not easy, but real, and sometimes that's more than enough.